The same point is being made here. After 1816, after the Austrian Minister of Finance proposed the Rothschilds receive official nobility, the Hesse coat of arms became a key component. The Rothschilds were asked to submit a coat of arms, which Solomon Rothschild did. He submitted a coat of arms, and that coat of arms had the eagle on it, and that eagle was alluding to the House of Hesse, which was one of their symbols. Alluded to Austria, and they also put a lion on their coat of arms, which was from the Hesse-Kassel dynasty. So the Rothschild coat of arms had the eagle from Austrian. I'm amazed they didn't put a double-headed eagle on there, but it certainly had the lion of the Hesse-Kassel dynasty. So it wasn't Hesse-Kassel taking some Jewish coat of arms. It was the Jews taking the royal coat of arms.
Right.
The pecking order. Next one goes on, says here, Jim Mars, he also understands this. One of his co-founders was reportedly William of Hesse, employer of Mayer Rothschild. It is certainly true that the Rothschilds and German royalty were connected, and they were connected through Freemasonry. Rothschild's biographer, Niall Ferguson, wrote that Mayer's son, Salomon, was a member of the same Masonic lodge as Mayer's bookkeeper, Seligman Geisenheimer. Right? So the top Jews, Baer, Rothschild, Oppenheimer, Warburg, you name it, were not only Masons, but they were shaking hands. They were identical behind the lodge door. They took their instructions from royalty, because royalty, just like Catholicism, doesn't want its dirty deeds being known to the world. So the contract is, the pact is, just like the Iceman is hired by the mafia, you take the blame, we don't know nothing about it. When's the last time you saw a Rothschild in court?
I never have, so.
Point made.
Yeah.
It says here that in 1782, the headquarters of the Illuminated Freemasonry moved to Frankfurt, a center controlled by Rothschild family. It is reported that in Frankfurt, Jews for the first time were admitted to the Order of Freemasons. If indeed members of the Rothschild family or their close associates were polluted by the occultism of Weishapp's Illuminated Freemasonry, we may have discovered the link between the occult and the world of high finance. Remember, the Rothschilds financed Cecil Rhodes in Africa. Lord Rothschild was a member of the inner circle of Rhodes's English Round Tables, and Paul Warburg was the architect of the Federal Reserve System. He was a Rothschild agent.
Yeah, well, this is just the engine to increase the money flow as well, or increase the wealth to these groups to begin with, right?
They have the job of controlling the lower tiers of the pyramid. The banks, the charities, the banking houses, you see, the corporations, the high seas. Right? Why should the executive come down and dirty his hands? They need oily rags. And these oily rags were going to be wiped out, remember? Jews were always very vulnerable. So they were itching to have this kind of protection from, whoever they could get it from. Here's the next picture. As it said in the previous slide, he was given the coat of arms, right? And they were awarded by the Hesse-Kassel. They were awarded lordships. They were allowed to have aristocratic standing, you see? There he is wearing...
That is. I think that's really interesting how different families are being brought into nobility like that. We don't have time to talk so much more about that, but that's a good point to keep in mind, that this is something that is given to certain families because of their duties or what they've done or something like that.
Because that's right. If you do the duties well, then you must be rewarded, isn't it?
Yeah.
And of course we must keep it in mind, because who's doing the awarding? At this particular junction in time, it's these Catholic dynasties who are doing the awarding.
Right.
He's a Jew. If you were a Jew, if you were Lord Rothschild, would you want some Catholic dynasty to be giving you some awards? Or the Pope or the Knights of Malta cross to be being worn by you?
Well,
not if you was a religious Jew. This is what these Jews have to understand. If these guys were really your friends, they would die before they take the awards of their so-called rivals and enemies, wouldn't they?
Yeah, sure.
But behind the lodge door, they know it's nothing to do with what you think it is, so of course they can take these awards.
Well, it's like what you said previous, Michael, that the allegiance are lying on totally different levels than what we perceive they are. Race is not an issue here, or even religion in that sense, or even culture or nationality. That doesn't matter in these cases.
No, absolutely not. That's all for the marketplace. Here's another picture of another Rothschild.
Who's this?
Wearing the that one is who is that? That's Mayer Rothschild, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
and he's wearing the decorations of aristocracy. That's Knight of the Garter or the Malta.
Something like
cross
that.
he's wearing there.
Yeah. Okay, we can...
next slide, you see.
JP and Warburg and the boys.
Yeah, Oppenheimer and Jacob Schiff.
Yeah.
Move to the next one, you see Shimon Peres, Jew from Israel.
Right.
Wearing Catholic awards. Well, that ceases to be surprising when you understand that at least half of the land of Palestine was actually ceded to the Pope. Did you know that?
Yeah, well, exactly. That's, I think, I forget his name now, but he wrote quite extensively on this, and this has been a little bit back and forth when the Vatican was given, a certain piece of land in Israel to set up the church there, and then this expanded and things like this. So it's definitely a huge relationship between Rome and Israel or Jerusalem. That's right.
Maybe you're thinking of John Eric Phelps. Was he the one?
No, I don't think so. It'll come to me later on, but okay.
Well, actually, this slide is not a Catholic award. It's actually the Order of St. Michael and St. George, which is one of the most supreme knighthoods given by the Queen.
Yeah, okay.
But since we've established that they're all one cabal, it doesn't matter. And the point being that they are connected. The Jews and the Catholic Church are connected. They are not the enemies that they appear to be on paper. Absolutely no way.
Andrew Birdie, previous head of Knights of Malta, for instance, a cousin to the Queen. The Queen is head of, or the Grand Protector of the Order of St. John, I think, another Catholic order. So,
Oh, I see. Got it. Absolutely. And of course, there we should always note there that Cecil Rhodes is always being considered to be the independent guy who went down to the South Africa.
Yeah.
They forget to tell you that the South Africa had already been run by the Jewish Oppenheimers and Goldbergs and Goldsmith Sachs and all these people, before he arrived.
Yeah.
And he was in cahoots with them all. That's how he got his wealth.
Yeah.